Thanks for joining 710's demonstration of StorFirst EAS. Before we show you the product, we wanted to spend a brief moment explaining how the technology works in order to provide some context to the demonstration. StorFirst EAS is a software-only archiving technology designed to securely store unstructured data. It's a virtual file system that's installed on Windows 2003, 2008, or a VMware server. The product presents itself as a share on the network, a StorFirst EAS X drive. To archive data, customers can program their application to write data to the share, or customers can simply copy files to our share. As data is written to the StorFirst EAS file system, it will send a copy of each file to each tier configured within the archive. During the following demonstration, we'll configure disk, Centera, and the EMC Atmos cloud. However, StorFirst EAS can archive to all types of disk, tape, virtual tape, NAS, cloud, or CAS. Once StorFirst EAS has written data to the archive, users can set lifespan policies for their data in order to determine how long information lasts on each tier before it is deleted. In the next few minutes, we'll show you how to configure tiers of storage within StorFirst EAS. To begin, locate the StorFirst EAS icon on your desktop. Remember, we are currently operating on a Windows server. If you were to purchase the product, you would enter your license key, but we'll bypass this option for now. You'll notice that the StorFirst EAS GUI has a very familiar Windows look and feel. The configuration is wizard-based and walks the user through the necessary steps. In the left-hand column of your screen, select and expand volumes. You'll see here all the different types of storage that the product can archive to: disk, Centera, tape, NAS, or cloud storage. We're going to configure some disk now, so select Disk Volumes, right-click, and select Add Disk Volume. Enter a name for your disk volume and click Next. This name could be anything from the brand name of disk you use to the name of an application that will be writing to it. StorFirst EAS will locate the available disk LUNs. Select the desired LUNs to which you'd like to archive your data. You can add one or multiple LUNs. LUNs can always be added later. We'll keep the default free space warning percentage for now. As free space gets low on a volume, StorFirst EAS can notify you once it reaches a certain percentage. We'll set the lifespan policy for 30 days. After 30 days, the StorFirst EAS Auto Purge will automatically purge data from this Tier 1 disk. Please note, the software will only purge data from a tier when the data has exceeded the tier's lifespan policy. In this case, there may be data on the disk that has resided here for 15 days, some for 20 days, and other data for 35 days. When the auto purge job initiates, only data that's been stored for 35 days will be purged. Now let's configure our EMC Centera volume. Select Centera Volumes, right-click, and select Add Centera Volume. Enter a name for your Centera volume and click Next. Since Centera is based on an IP connection, you'll need to enter the IP address for your EMC Centera. Under the PEA file heading, click Browse and select your PEA file. This is the pool entry authorization file created by the Centera administrator. Click Next. As before, we'll keep the default free space warning. Set the lifespan policy for your data. As Centera is used primarily for long-term archiving, we will set the lifespan policy for 7 years, so the data can only be automatically purged from Centera with our auto purge job once the 7-year time period has expired. Click Finish. For our final tier, we are going to configure cloud storage. In the left-hand column of your screen, select and expand volumes. Select Cloud Volumes, right-click, and select Add Cloud Volume. Enter a name for your cloud volume and click Next. Select the cloud platform to which you'll be archiving. For the purposes of this demonstration, we'll choose EMC Atmos on-premise. Enter the IP address or URL path for Atmos on-premise. Set your quota to the appropriate capacity. Quota is used as the total space for the volume. This figure is reported back to the OS as the size of the volume. This is a soft limit and can be changed later. For Atmos on-premise, you'll need a token ID and a shared secret. This information will have been previously given to you upon your purchase of EMC Atmos. Enter this information in the appropriate fields and click Next when you are finished. Again, we will keep the free space warning default at 5%. Since Tier 3 will typically be a customer's final resting place for archived data, we will leave the lifespan setting at permanent, so the data will never automatically be purged by the StorFirst EAS auto purge job. Next, in the left-hand column, right-click Tiered Storage Volume, and then select Add Tiered Storage Volume. This step must be completed, even if you only plan to utilize one storage tier. Enter a unique name for your volume and click Next. Go to Tier 1 and select your Tier 1 disk volume. Note the 30-day lifespan policy we set for this volume. Complete the same steps for Tier 2 and Tier 3 with Centera and the EMC Atmos Cloud respectively. You'll notice that with each volume added, its corresponding lifespan policy will be featured underneath the volume. Choose whether you'd like to map to folder or map to root. 710 suggests mapping to the folder because you may use the software for multiple applications. Click Next. At this point, you'll set the retention period for the entire file system. To further clarify, you've previously been setting lifespan policies for each individual tier. This means that when the StorFirst EAS auto purge job moves throughout the tiers of storage, looking for data to purge, data that has exceeded the assigned lifespan policy for that volume will be purged. When we say purge, we mean that the data still exists on other storage tiers and within the file system. It has only been removed from a specific tier. Retention, on the other hand, covers the entire file system and is designed to protect against manual deletion. By setting the retention policy to permanent, users will never be able to manually delete data. Data can only be deleted through the auto purge job. Deletion means that the data has been removed from all available tiers and the file system. This feature is great for compliance-driven environments that require data to be held, as it prohibits manual deletion of information until the set retention period has expired. The retention settings span from 0 days, meaning data can always be manually deleted, to permanent, meaning that data can never be manually deleted. Please note that the retention policy can only be increased and not decreased. Next, we have to inventory our disk LUNs. Expand disk volumes, select your volume, and then select both disk LUNs. Right-click and select Inventory Disk LUNs. Select the first option to format the disks, and in the following screen, we'll run the inventory now and select the Now option accordingly. Let's take a look at our configured volumes and the amount of capacity available for archiving. Each disk LUN is configured for 20 gigabytes per LUN. The Centera has about 2.5 terabytes of free space, and the cloud volume will not show an available capacity. Since it's cloud storage, there's no physical limit to the amount of data you can store. If you go to My Computer, you'll see the StorFirst EAS file system represented by a local S drive which can be seen over the network as a share. You'll note that there is a little over 2.5 terabytes of available capacity, which we saw moments ago in the GUI. If you double-click on the StorFirst EAS share, you'll see the mapped tiered storage volume that's ready to receive archived data. As a brief recap, we showed you how to configure storage volumes within the StorFirst EAS software. We encourage you to review our other demonstrations for StorFirst EAS that focus on different elements of the product. 710 also develops StorFirst EAS, a unique software program that can replicate data from EMC Centera to tape or virtual tape. For more information about 710 storage software or the company's technology, please contact your 710 sales representative. We very much appreciate your interest in StorFirst EAS.